Hello class, so today we are going to be talking more about parallelograms. So when we talk about it, I would like to go back to our digital notebook so we can review what it looks like. So again, the easiest way to find the digital notebook is to go to the home page, scroll down, and you can see right here where it lists the digital notebook. So I'm going to go in and I am going to go to Unit 1 because that's the unit that we're in right now. Oops, sorry, let me get that out of the way. So here we will see that we have got our different vocabulary terms. On the second page is where you can see where it talks about parallelograms. And now we've already talked about one of the most important things about a parallelogram is that it is a four-sided polygon with two sets of parallel lines. Also, you will notice that down here where it talks about the formulas for our different shapes, there's also a page that talks about the formula for a parallelogram to find the area. So the formula to find the area of a parallelogram is base times height. And we can see that when we're identifying the bases and the heights, the most important thing is that those two be perpendicular to each other or form a 90-degree angle. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So here we have a basic parallelogram. And I want to go over a couple of shapes and markings that you will see as we talk about our parallelogram. So if I see a line like this and a line like this, that means that those two particular lines are equal. So with this one, each pairs are equal, so I'm going to draw two over here and two over here. That just shows you that those particular lines are equal. You may also see something similar when we're talking about angles. This is representing that these two angles are equal and that these two angles are equal. Now you're not going to see that on every single parallelogram we have, but you might see it. You might also see some parallelograms are going to have their points labeled. The point of any of these things are called the vertex. So this one might be labeled A, B, C, and D. So you could have all of that information on a specific parallelogram, or you might not. Just some things for you to be aware of, and I don't want them to distract you and throw you off. Okay, so we're going to go back to this parallelogram here. One of the things that you will notice is that even if it's not written, this parallelogram, there will be a 90-degree angle in here. So as long as the base and the height are perpendicular to each other, we can use them to use our formula. So for example, I could say that this base is 10 and the height is 12. Now I could also give you more information in this parallelogram and say that this line right here is 14. But I cannot use that line because this line does not form a 90-degree angle to my base. I have to have a 90-degree angle between my base and my height in order to use them for my formula. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again and show it to you in another way. I don't have to have my 90-degree angle on the inside. I could actually draw it on the outside. If I did this, I still have a 90-degree angle between my base and my height. That is the same distance that I have if I had have drawn it right here. Sometimes it will be at a vertex in your parallelogram. Sometimes it will not. I could also draw it right in the middle. all of these make 90-degree angles, and they would all have the same value. It wouldn't matter where I place it. I could also do it on this side, and it would still work. Because the distance on all of these lines that I just talked about, all of these lines have the same value. They are all 12. And if I am using 10 as my base, then as long as those lines are perpendicular to my base, I can use that as my height when I'm talking about my parallelogram. I am never going to be able to use any of the other lines that we see if it is not perpendicular, if it does not form that 90-degree angle in my parallelogram. So even if I gave you this value, let's say is 10, let's say this value is 15, you do not have enough information to find the area of the parallelogram, because this angle between these two lines is not 90 degrees. So because this is not a 90-degree angle, I cannot use that. I have to have a perpendicular line in order to use it for my parallelogram. It doesn't matter where those perpendicular lines meet, as long as they go together. I could even flip it on its side and do this. And as long as I am using this for my base, this line right here, and as long as I am using this for my height, this line right here, then I can use those two lines in my formula, because those two lines are perpendicular to each other. As long as I have two lines that form the 90-degree angle for my parallelogram, I can use the parallelogram formula. I showed you that in the notebook, but again, that area for a parallelogram is area equals base times height. The most important part of this is that the area, the lines that you are using to form your parallelogram have to be perpendicular to each other. There has to be that 90-degree angle in order to form perpendicular lines. We have to have that in order to use this for base and height of a parallelogram. I'd like for you guys to complete your worksheet. When you are done with today's worksheet, please complete the cool down. Thank you very much, and have a good day.